had dinner and hung out for a couple days with a major director and some major producers of big films themselves who were working with James Cameron. It's like 15 years ago now, 12, 14 years ago. He had a whole new system of hologram movies, and no one would be able to have this in their house, and it was going to be the next level, and he just gave up and said, forget it. It's all over. I'm moving to New Zealand. Everything's going to collapse. And then I ran into a lady who had owned one of the biggest defense contractor companies, and she said, you're going to get really big the next few years, but it doesn't matter. Everything's going to collapse, but you're spot on. I mean, those are real stories. Like, when I told you this weekend, I got called by two national hosts. So you could argue either one of these people could be the biggest in the country. You could say on the internet, I'm big, but I'm not about who's big or small. The point is that they were telling me the inside baseball and things that were going on their front. So when I tell you these stories, I'm not just making this stuff up. Okay, so everybody I know is moving to Kauai, Tasmania, or New Zealand. And some people are moving to Eastern Europe. But they believe something huge is coming, and most of them say it's a bioweapon. It's a disease X. No one knows where it comes from. Wink, wink. We'll talk to Vox Day about that in a moment and take him in the next hour and take a few calls. By the way, though, we can turn all this around. We've turned a lot of stuff around. Just like they thought globalism would win, and now it's in trouble. So they're just going to go with the bioweapon to wipe us all out and think that's going to work? If we point out you've got these bunkers, and we point out that that's your end game, if there ever is a bioweapon, even if you don't release it, some race-specific thing that kills 3 billion people, you're not going to be safe in those facilities that are all hidden in the mountains and at those vineyards. And I mean, I've talked to the guys that install the stuff. Like, they've got like rocks that pop up and got like double 50 cal machine guns. And then I know robots never came online yet, so you've got like former special forces people that are going to protect you, and private jet pads and helicopter pads. Those guys hate you. The minute all this stuff goes down, you're all dead. I mean, you guys have really kind of built your own tomb. And I'm just telling you, it's not going to go well. It's going to be you. And you kind of ask for it if you release the weapon. Your families that are going to be down in those bunkers as tombs, not as your redoubts. So I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you the way the cow ate the cabbage. And I do tend to know how the cow ate the cabbage. So we're going to win this fight if everybody takes action and everybody supports those of us in the spirit. They believe they can take out the leadership of the resistance and that the globalists are going to win. That's not the case. Alt Hero is up to its 5th edition now. It's great for kids, great for adults. Just came out, InfoWarsStore.com. And it's already a best-selling comic. They tried to suppress it. We also carry several of his books, Vox Day. It's all there. And we have Jordan Ettick's A Journey into the Mind of Humanity's Greatest Thinker. That is a satirical headline. And again, I think he does a lot of good, but it's where he's taking you. And I agree with Vox about that. So those are all available at InfoWarsStore.com. And then don't forget, store-wide free shipping and 50% off all the supplements, except people just do what I say around here. Like last week I get back and I go, and I want to put the protein bars and I want to put Turbo Force that are best sellers at 50% off. And they go, are you sure? And I said, yeah. Well, today they go, the reason we question that is they're almost sold out. I go, why didn't you tell me that? So a lot of stuff's about to sell out on 50% off. So everything will stay 50% off for the month of March, except stuff that's about to sell out. So tomorrow, the protein bars, Turbo Force, all that stuff's got to go back to regular price. This is about to sell out anyways. More isn't coming in for a few months. So get your Brain Force, get your Turbo Force, get your X2, the Deep Earth Crystal Good Iodine. We didn't think we could get any more. I played Gutsball, broke my contract. They came through, original manufacturer. We've got it again. And your purchase makes it all possible. Get some non-GMO heirloom seeds. Get water filtration, air filtration. Get a book, get a video, get some T-shirts, spread the word. All of it is a win-win at InfoWarsStore.com. And thank you all for your support. But whatever you do, whether you're listening to local radio stations or TV stations or watching online, spread the word. It's your word of mouth. Human power over the algorithm. Human power over the machines that will break their back. Okay, Vox, continuing, my friend. Getting into the false flag, what you think this symbolizes, the different types of false flags, the elites, as I agree, admittedly, going into a kind of a backtracking format right now. How do we know that's not a feint? What do you think?
We know it's not a feint because we can look at the historical trends. When you look at the openness and the wildly optimistic perspective that the social mood has enjoyed for the past 65 years, we're actually beyond the end of the pendulum. The pendulum is already swinging back. The reason that people have a difficult time understanding the way that the world works is because they tend to only look at what they've seen in their own lifetime. Most people don't read any history. Most people don't pay any attention to what's going on. But there's that old saying that those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. The fact is, we're all doomed to repeat it. The only difference is some of us know what's going to happen. And so we've seen this massive expansion. We've seen this huge credit bubble, larger than anyone in history because its transportation and finance now covers the globe. Well, we're heading into another period of crash.
That's right.
And nobody knows how bad it will be. Nobody knows the full extent of it.
And they thought they could sell the collapse as a environmental austerity. They know that's not going to work now, so they're really scared.
Yes, because the magnitude is too great, and also because they didn't have the courage, or else they were too short-term oriented and greedy to allow the collapse to take place the 3 previous times it started to happen.
When it was more manageable.
Yeah, they could have let it crash in 1987. They could have let it crash in 2001. They could have let it crash in 2008. But in each time period, in each moment of crisis, they refused to allow the failing institutions to go out of business. They refused to accept the pain. They just pushed it down. They kicked the can down the road. The problem is the can keeps getting bigger and bigger, and now it's like an oil barrel that's filled with cement. They can't kick it much farther. And so, that's why the Chinese, for example, I find it a little ironic that the Western elites think they're going to run away to New Zealand because New Zealand and Australia are going to fall under Chinese domination relatively quickly.
Well, maybe that tells you who they think's going to win. That's why they're moving there.
Well, the Chinese I very much doubt. If you look at the way that the Chinese tend to regard the Western techno elite, I don't think that they would fare very well there. They're not very popular.
No, that's right. They'd say, we're taking over militarily unless the New Zealand Defense Forces kill all these people in 1 week. And then they would just dictate to the New Zealand government.
Well, I don't know, but I just know that the Chinese don't look favorably on people who look down on them. And so, the Chinese have a ancient civilization, and they're not impressed by any other civilization other than, maybe for technological accomplishments and so forth. But, the big story that people don't pay attention to right now is the way that the Chinese are building up their armed forces, but they're doing it in a way to avoid provocation with the West. They don't want any sort of conflict right now because they're much more interested in moving into Africa. They have a plan.
That's right. That's their Lebenstraum. That's their breadbasket. Their real Operation Barbarossa is into Africa right now, and of course we're doing nothing to block it because we're idiots.
Well, we can't block it. There's literally nothing the West could do about it except for go nuclear, which is not an option.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
And so, publicly, they had a plan. The Politburo had actually approved a plan to settle 100 million Chinese settlers in Africa, and they formally withdrew it because there were so many diplomatic protests. But if you look what's happened and the way that they followed the lead of the International Monetary Fund, and they loaned a bunch of money to strategic.
Sure, they're doing what the West has done, but the West can go in still and make major deals with those leaders because the Chinese are such hard bargainers. We can cut better deals now. There's been a strategic globalist move to not have the West dominate Africa. They've let China do it on purpose is what I'm getting at, Fox.
Yeah, that may be.
Look about to end it right now if Trump took action, but of course it's not. We'll come out with Docs Day in 2 minutes. Unauthorized.tv. Want to hear about what he's doing there? We've got all of his great comic books.